Hello, and welcome to today's European SharePoint Office 365 and Azure Community webinar. My name is Laura, and I am delighted to be joined by Vesa Noppanen, who is an MVP from Finland, who will present the topic, How Conversational AI Can Transform Your Work with ChatGPT. Remember to join in on the conversation about today's webinar and more on Twitter. Please, our Twitter handle is @EuropeanSP and our hashtag is #ESPC23. And please remember to share all your webinar thoughts and use our hashtag, and we will engage with your content. Don't forget to check out the Resource Centre. This is updated daily with the latest blogs, ebooks, webinars, and how-to videos. Simply visit sharepointeurope.com and click the content tab that's at the top. Continue your learning by joining us for our next webinar, which is called PNP PowerShell, What You Need to Know, with Erwin van Hunen. And this webinar takes place next Wednesday, the 12th of April, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. CEST. For more details, you can check out our website at sharepointeurope.com/register for webinars. The ESPC 23 Super Early Bird Sale is now on. Save €400 with super early bird pricing and join us in Amsterdam this year from the 27th to the 30th of November for 4 days of learning, networking, and inspiration. ESPC 23 will bring together members of the Microsoft 365 and Azure community from around the world to share ideas and solutions. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals at ESPC this November. So make sure you secure your super early bird tickets today and get ready for 4 incredible days of Microsoft 365 and Azure learning. You can find more information at sharepointeurope.com/pricing. The early bird sale for this year's European Power Platform Conference is also live. We are now sold out of 3-day tickets for the European Power Platform Conference this year, but you can still get your hands on some 2-day tickets while they are still available. The European Power Platform Conference dives into Microsoft Power Platform and provides a host of professional development opportunities, which includes 3 inspirational keynotes, 6 expert full-day tutorials, and 85 and more specialist sessions delivered by global Power Platform experts and Microsoft corporate and community leaders. Gain expert insight and hear the latest innovations across Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents, Power Pages, and Dynamics. Be sure to visit sharepointeurope.com/European Power Platform Conference pricing to grab your tickets while they're still available. After the webinar, we will have a questions and answers session. Type any question you might have into the questions window. Questions will then be selected and answered at the end of the presentation. This webinar will be recorded and added to the Resource Centre, where you will be notified by email when it is available. And now I'm going to pass you over to our webinar presenter today, Vesa. Hello, Vesa.
Hello, Laura, and thank you. All right, let's start the fun and start sharing the screen and try to hide a few windows of my view here. All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you have had a great day. At least it's going to be a great week, if nothing else. And at ESPC 23, I have my fingers crossed that I would be speaking there, but I don't know yet. They are still keeping things a bit secret. And yes, the topic of today is how conversational AI can transform your work with ChatGPT. That's a long title. I know it's not an easy one. And when I was writing that title and the session, it was a while ago. It was before the Copilot, for example. So I think the more relevant title for today is actually how conversational AI is transforming your work. And we are featuring ChatGPT, Azure, and Copilot in the process. So let's get started. I'm infamous for going along in my webinars very easily, so because I like to talk. So let's see what's coming up. And as Laura presented, my name is Vesa Nopanen. You can call me Vesku. I'm a principal consultant for future work and metaverse at Sulava here in Finland. I'm based at Turku, which is on the southwest side of Finland. And of course, Finland, we got some great news yesterday overall, but let's not go to that. Instead, if you want to stay in touch with me, that's how you can reach me. For example, LinkedIn is something I use basically every day, and Twitter is still there. And I'm writing blog, mymetaverseday.com, so you are all, of course, very welcome to start following that. Okay, I had to put one Easter bunny there. Come on, it's Easter week. So before going to agenda, this is actually related to AI. This image, as all images here in my presentation, have been generated by AI. AI is everywhere, so you can create awesome stuff. It could be images, text, whatever, and that's why today's topic is so interesting. So today I will go through with the conversational AI and how it's transforming the work, and going through some advantages, challenges, and even have some kind of a conclusion there. And there will be a bit of demos meanwhile, because of course demos are interesting, and there's always a possibility of a demo effect when you are doing them live. So let's get started with a small ad. I'm also the main organizer of Metaverse 1. That's going to be live on 20th of September. And we have already an amazing number of speakers from Microsoft, from MVPs, from the community, and from all around who will talk about the Metaverse. So I hope I am seeing you there. And if you are one of those who wants to present there, the call for speakers is still open. And this is online, fully free. So I hope to see a lot of you in there. So that's the big question. How do you prepare for a meeting? Let's assume you are an important leader, or at least you are a salesperson or account manager who's going to meet a very important customer. And if you think about the world leaders, politicians, they have a team of assistants. They have a team of aides to help them out with facts, presentations, ideas, conversation topics, and everything like that. And the team is collecting and summarizing information for them, so they don't have to. But think about that if we had that superpower within our reach every day, so we could just ask the AI, tell me a summary of our recent activities with our customer, big industry leader. Also detail the last 3 joint board projects with value over 2 million euros, for example, and include any positive or negative customer feedback and what kind of decisions there's going to be made. And this is the future. This is how things are transforming, because the AI is going to help us to be more productive, but also prepare a lot better than before. So what is a conversational AI? It's basically conversations between machine and people. That's kind of something we can talk to computers finally in a way. So we can communicate with our computers or systems, solutions, cloud, metaverse in basically a natural human-like way. And that's the big leap forward. That's kind of something that changed a lot of things when the GPT-3 came out. And these are based on natural language processing and large language models. So yeah, there's a lot of data behind all this. And there's of course machine learning that they have been taught very well, and there's machine learning that will help the AI to adapt and respond to queries. So you can have more natural conversation. And OpenAI is of course the company that was developing the ChatGPT or GPT model in general, and Microsoft funded with that with 10 billion US dollars with put a bit of money to OpenAI, and of course now we can all enjoy the fruits of that investment. And when the GPT-3 came out during the end of last year, it was very amazing. Then GPT 3.5 came out, and GPT-4 finally came out. And only so we got information about that we've been using GPT-4 already with Microsoft. So thing is that these models are trained with massive amount of data, and that's just a big time. Like they've been basically crawling the net and learning from whatever we have in there. And GPT-3 was, I don't even remember how many times more there was materials than GPT 3.5, for example. And they're already talking that GPT-5 might come at the end of this year. And it would be something that's even a great massive jump from GPT-4 forward. So we live definitely in very interesting times. So GPT-4, Bing Chat, yeah, we've heard this, and I think the best way to say it, GPT-4 is also multimodal. So it's just not text it understands; it also understands picture inputs. And at one time it was mentioned that it might understand audio, video as well. So it remains to be seen if it develops and goes towards that way or not. But the multimodality is a big thing. Like it's opening a lot of new possibilities there. Like with the picture understanding, that's a big thing. And of course, Bing Chat, it's the Microsoft Search with AI. So you can, instead of searching with keywords, you are searching with some terms like what you want to know and why, for example. And the Bing Chat will go and search the information for you and give the answer in the natural language. And so you can type your query in a natural language. You don't have to think about, okay, what kind of keywords are there or not. And of course, it was revealed during the mid-March that hey, Bing Chat was already using GPT-4, but they just didn't tell that yet. So it went through a lot of interesting phases after its release, but it's been a fantastic journey to follow up and see how Bing Chat was first, of course, taken down a lot more, and then afterwards it was regaining more skills again. And if you now have a basically ChatGPT Plus subscription, you can already use GPT-4 with the ChatGPT, yeah, at OpenAI. There's a lot of GPT repeating here. But that was the tech. But the real thing is, okay, why it's important? What's the real big thing? Because the conversational AI is fundamentally revolutionizing, changing, transforming the way we can interact with computers, with machines. Because when you bring that natural language understanding to applications or to user interface, it's changing a lot of things, because finally we are very close to speech, like a speech interface that we could use with our computer. We've seen that in sci-fi, and we didn't really think that we could do that kind of stuff for in a long time. But AI has been developing very, very fast. And the big thing about these GPT models and these large language models is that they are very versatile and multi-purpose models, because you can use them to different needs. So you can use them. Well, I've listed there a few translation. They're pretty good at translation capabilities. You can generate content, text, for example, or text at this point. And of course, they understand the text. How do you want to classify the text somehow? Do you want to have a summary or extended summary out of the text? So you can use them in very, very different ways. So it's just your imagination basically there. How do you prompt the AI? How do you write what you want to know about the text, for example? And I think one of the very cool things that was released with the OpenAI GPT-4 announcement was that they had already some partners there that were using GPT-4. Bing Chat was one of those. But the other one was Be My Eyes. And how this app works, so because GPT-4 can understand images. So it can get the image for if you have a impaired vision, and so you can see that well, and then you can't read the fine print or something like that. You can take a picture there, and it will tell you what it is all about, because it understands not just the kind of recognizing, hey, there's a person in there, but what that person is doing. Or there's, of course, text, that's really easy part. But with GPT-4, the multimodality brings the image understanding. And that's really the key that you can start thinking about. There's a huge number of different ways you can utilize these AIs. And of course, accessibility is one of those big things. We all are going to need some accessibility at some point of time during our lifetime. It can be temporary or it can be permanent. And yes, I'm using glasses. So that's one of the vision accessibility issue. If I wouldn't have glasses, it would be a lot more difficult to read, for example. And the power comes from boosting the productivity. So it can assist you in a very, very different ways. Like, well, the content and code generation, discovering information, getting insights, and creating drafts. And it kind of leads the way towards very new era of virtual assistants. Siri will feel like it's outdated. It already feels, because its language understanding it's very limited. And so when you have really a virtual assistant that you can talk to and spar and ideate more with that, it's going to be a real game changer. Microsoft Copilot was introduced. I'm going to tell a bit more about that. And it's going to bring that capability to all Microsoft 365. I've listed a few examples: Microsoft Security Copilot, Bing Chat, and there was Dynamics and so on. But the GitHub Copilot X just was more or less really announced again today. They really released a blog post, and so they are not just all kind of adopting the new GPT-4 model with that, but they are introducing chat and voice for Copilot. So you can use your voice. And so you can use Copilot to do pull requests, command line, and docs to answer questions. And so it's kind of a new ChatGPT type of experience right within GitHub. And it's going to help us to be more productive when we are developing code. So all this is just a short kind of list of power of conversational AI, because I'm going to go there deeper. But you can imagine the possibilities already. What this can mean, because the speech interface with natural language understanding, that's going to be a big thing. Think about metaverse, virtual worlds. You could talk to those bots because typing with your headset is really difficult. So you could have really a speech interface there. Or in the accessibility side, so you can use your voice hear and write, or so if you have a vision issue, then you could be talking to your computer. So yeah, this is very interesting. I'm very interested to see what Windows 12 is going to bring in this part. But to Copilot and AI, and I think they nailed that way with that line, a whole new way to work. Yeah, indeed, because the Copilot is opening a lot of possibilities. Some of you may have seen those Microsoft videos, so I didn't include them. But what you can do is use the natural language, and Copilot is using your data from Microsoft 365. It's only using the data you have access to, because it's using Microsoft Graph there to get the relations, get the information. It's somehow utilizing a very powerful search engine in there, because it needs to be really fast. But you can kind of tell that okay, I want to create a project plan, and based on that quote, or you cannot mention documents, you cannot mention people, you cannot mention customers, you cannot mention multiple files, and it will create your document, or PowerPoint, or both. And then you can kind of move from PowerPoint to Word and back and forth. And okay, that's one part. That's when you start creating things. And in the picture there, that was taken from Harri Mikkonen's LinkedIn post when he was telling, okay, he's from Microsoft. So okay, what the Copilot is helping him to do. So creating presentation, adding slides. So you can do a lot of things directly from within PowerPoint. But also, I'm really keen to see how this summarizing will go, like summarizing customer communications for some time, and getting something, what's been negative, what's been positive, what has been the conflict. Summarizing Teams conversation, or summarizing the meeting so far if you join late. So you will get kind of a very good summary, get fast, up to date, what's happening. And you're coming back from vacation, say 6 weeks or something, and you have a lot of emails. What are the most important things on my emails from that time? So I don't have to go through each of them and read them all, but I can pick up the priority ones first, and then start working with the others later. So it's basically unlocking really the power of AI, and you could say unlocking the power of ChatGPT if you want, because, well, Copilot runs on GPT-4. So it's using the same engine or same GPT model there. And so it will bring you a very kind of a new way how you can connect to your data. It's kind of a seamless integration. At least it's based on demos, it looks like that. So, and eventually we will see Copilots for all everyday applications we are using. We already saw demos on Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams. I think we saw OneNote demo there, and the Loop application already has a switch for Copilot. We just disabled, so it's not there yet. But then it's just showing that we will be using the Copilot everywhere to make our work easier, the knowledge work. Of course, the business chat is something I'm very interested about, because it's kind of virtual assistant. I would kind of put it into that category, because you can kind of spar with ideas even with that if you want. And of course, there's going to be more like in Viva Engage, there's going to be a Copilot. Power Platform is already getting Copilot features. Like, for example, you can already create Power Virtual Agents, like topics, when you type in the information, and it will create it. And so soon we will be able to create Power Automate just by typing what we want in natural language. And of course, this will expand the use of Power Automate big time, because now people who have been afraid to use Power Automate because they don't want to learn new things, they can just type in using their words. and get the results out of there. Power Apps is going to get that. So there's going to be a huge number of applications that are going to be embedded with AI, much more than ever before. And just to show you a couple of pictures or snips from the business chat, then things like that did anything happen yesterday with Fabricant, so the customer? And it can start to look for references and create a summary. And on the picture on the right, then we can see, okay, the person wants to have a meeting with Mona, so asks the business chat to kind of prepare that person for that meeting. So what I've been doing, what's happening there, what are my tasks, for example, etc. So you are getting a very good kind of a summary of information. And as you can see, there's all of these have references. So unlike most of the ChatGPT, what you are using when you are chatting with that, you have references where that information was taken from. So you can go to the source and verify the information if you feel, okay, something is not right. And that's really a big thing in there. And it goes forward to the meetings. So you can use in the meetings meeting recap and check out, okay, ask the AI about, okay, what happened during that meeting. And there's going to be a new option in Outlook. You can follow a meeting. So you are not joining, but you will get access to the meeting recap later. And from that meeting recap, you can use the AI to go forward and check out for the information. And it's already suggesting a few things like, okay, do you want to ask this one? And it will get you an answer. So this is really cool. I love technology, I have to admit. So these are very great examples how we are going to embed or get AI into our daily work. But we can also use these models in our own applications and in our own use cases. Think about that. You could be asking from your company legacy data information. And if you have created that search and summarizing part with the OpenAI, you can understand what the person is asking about and where that information would be found. So you can classify the search. So you can go to different sources and summarize information or categorize something out of there or find something what you want to see from that data. So there's lots of great features that are already basically available from Azure OpenAI. So you can the GPT-3 codecs and embeddings are already in GA. So you can, with embeddings, you can do, for example, finding out if some long documents are relevant to search query and or similarity between documents, etc. The ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo and GPT-4 are in preview at the moment, so you are getting access to those. And the key thing, when we are using these from Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft is not using your data to train models. They emphasize that your data is your data. That's really important. If you are using some public AI somewhere, you don't really have that kind of clause. They might be using your data to refine models. Your kind of a classified information might just pop out somewhere accidentally in that way. But when you are using the Azure's AI, OpenAI, then you really can be sure that, okay, I can use this with my classified information. It will be protected. It's protected by everything Azure is providing. So you can bring this already to workplace. So you can have smarter bots for enhanced collaboration and efficiency. And what kind of bots? Hey, let's take a look, because it's always much more fun with that. let me go and find my the window I was looking for. What I have here is basically just a bot done with the Power Virtual Agents, showing okay, how you can use the GPT model when you are retrieving something. So, and I have preloaded that model with the information about some customers, like it's saying, where we had some public information we got from certain names. Caverion is a Finnish company. There was an annual report from 21. So that was uploaded there. There were some other big names from Finland. We uploaded that information. I put some information about Sulava, and I uploaded my presentation there as well. So I can have a bit more demos for you. So I can ask basically on any language. Now what's happening, it's searching for the right text, what's there, and then putting that text to ChatGPT and getting the answer in there. This is not interactive in that sense. This is only a one-shot because I didn't create the demo in a way that you could be continuing that conversation, but it already found the reference document, and according to that annual review, digitalization, sustainability, urbanization, increased energy efficiency requirements are changing their business. They are in construction and buildings and a lot more. So you can get very good answers in a very natural way. I don't have to know more specific, like file I'm looking for, or I'm already getting the answer. Or there's also financial information. What I'm doing also when this search is happening, I'm classifying the search, or I'm getting a classification, sorry. So what that person is looking for. So now it knows it's looking for financial information, because you can extract that information, understand, okay, what's the context of this question? And I can tell it, just like in the ChatGPT, hey, write an email or something like that, what's happening. So when you have the data, you can get a lot smarter Q&A bots, a lot smarter assistants if you want, and what's happening. This is live, this is real time, so it can provide you some information from there. So I uploaded this deck, so I can ask things about the AI. So, for example, this is not there on your version of the deck, but basically, okay, how do you prepare for AI at work? So you need to start planning that. So you need to have a checklist, basically. Think about at least these points. Lots of companies can start, hey, we can start using the Copilot just as it is, but you are going to miss a lot. And you may hit to some kind of issues later when people are not perhaps trusting what the AI knows, how it's being used, where it is used. And so you need to think about all those aspects. That there's a lot a lot to think about. So you, for example, thinking about the data privacy security, it's of course important, and identifying the right solution. Yeah, Copilot is going to be there. It's going to be a lot easier to jump into that. And like, you can also get help. Hey, I already have a draft email here. I can copy paste that, check out that it's fine, edit it further. This is basically also what Copilot does or will do, because we don't have access to that yet. So, but you can get the information from your data sources, and based on the information, you can generate content. It's going to save a lot of time. And just to show you like how versatile this is, that's a healthcare related question. That's a very rare genetic disorder, CFC syndrome. And there's some documents related to that there. So it's making a classification, okay, this is healthcare. it could again get the information from different data sources. And so you can make summaries. Hey, let's make a summary and let's do it in 3 different languages. So it's opening up the possibility, hey, I can use different language and get the answer on my language. I could use Finnish here all the time, and I would get these answers and in Finnish. And I can ask, of course, hey, let's give it to some other language. But as you can see, I can get the English summary, Dutch summary, and German summary in there. And of course, I want to show a bit about the other capability. We always want to know what's for lunch. That's in Finnish, but I want the answer in English. So it's making a category. Okay, this is asking about the lunch. So and that lunch is not in our database there. Instead, it goes to the public site of one restaurant in Helsinki and fetches the information. And it, as a reminder to myself, I'm not going to pass HTML anymore with Power Automate. That's not fun. And so I get that information. I will show, it shows the first menu in Finnish because that's the raw information it has got there. And after that, it's going for GPT-3 and it's telling you what's on the lunch. So it's understanding about today is Wednesday, 5th of April, and these are what we are going to be eating today up there. And it's going to give you that as a English way, a short way. So you can say a lot of things. And the fun thing is that it's always a bit different when you ask. You can tune in the GPT model how much variance you want. So it can be more creative or it can be more precise. More precise is much like, I don't want to use that because you're all basically getting the same answer all the time. So it's not that fun. But with this, you always have a bit of kind of waiting, okay, what kind of answer I'm going to get this time. And if you are using Bing Chat, if you are already using the Edge, you can start using the Bing Chat. You can be more creative there if you want. And for example, you could just start asking, just like in GPT. I encourage to try to create it more. But thinking about our productivity, how the Copilot is going to change things, because we are going to be using this kind of a part there, except that with Copilot we have access to our own data. Now it doesn't. So we can choose the tone. Okay, what kind of post I want there? Do I want it short, medium, and start writing? So I can take this information and basically post it into Word or whatever I want to post it, and then I can edit it. So you can ask a lot of things because Bing is doing the search as well. So yeah, it's doing that. You could ask what is MVP Summit, and it will go and search for the MVP Summit, get the information, and I could ask to write that's an email. We could even try that. Let's have a bit of fun with Bing Chat. The ad hoc demos, that's the best thing. Okay, MVP Summit is that. This into format, I can send it to my boss in email. So you can go ahead. This is what you most likely have been doing with ChatGPT already. So you can interact, and with Copilot, that's going to be a very similar experience. So you can go ahead. Okay, it's not writing the email. Actually, it's just I have to ask it to write me a draft. So you have to be also learning about what's the how do you talk to AI. Draft email. All right, yeah, there's a lot of. Okay, it's actually continuing. So it was creating the draft email. but it was just making it a really long reply. So you can use that. I didn't even have to use that. It's already getting some information. It knows I'm there, but that's not my phone number, but that's my email. Yeah. So we can do these things in GPT model with GPT models. Right. Let's go and change again, and it should be showing my monitor soon. Okay, excellent. Now we had a demo. So AI at work. It's basically revolutionizing how we are working, operating. You can think about where you will be using this. Well, automation of routine tasks is something that comes up first. You can think about approvals because it can do some kind of sentiment out of the query, and you could have some rules there. Okay, when it's approving something or not, because it can understand what it is about. It can understand what the text is about, what the document is about, what is the question all about. So you can start utilizing these in form processing, categorizing, classifications on different parts, understanding what's in the form. Q&A bots, yeah, that was the one. Customer inquiries, we've all used those, frankly, a bit stupid bots in the web, and those bots are not that kind of smart, and you have to really ask it information in a certain way, but that's going to change because our customer service experience is going to be something much more in the future, because that AI large language models are going to help us do that. And with that, we are doing a lot of these. Like, hopefully it all can help us to focus more on innovation, and it leaves kind of a thing that, okay, AI can take care of the bulk stuff, and we leave the complex issues to people. But you have to learn about AI prompting to be really a good one, because the more efficient you are when you are knowing how to talk to computer, basically. But you can still use the natural language, but you just have to learn how to be more precise in some ways, or have enough information so it can provide you the answer you need. And the more you use it, the more natural it's going to be. But I think the boosting productivity is one of those key things. With all, I've already shown you a lot of that. It's basically you can use these GPT models for getting more out of information, summarizing insights, meeting notes. That's the intelligent recap part. So you reduce time for the recap. You don't have to watch the recording. You just get the summary of that, and which are the key things, where I have to check this, was I mentioned there, and getting the information throughout different systems. Like you have customer information in Dynamics, you have some other information in your legacy system, you have some project documentation, and when you have built the integrations there, you can get a summary of basically everything. And AI can help you to have this impactful communication, so you can make an impact. It can make your slides better. It can make things better. And of course, financial information, so you can get the relevant data out and insights and condensed information. And yes, I used ChatGPT when I was creating this deck, because I really wanted to use that for this, because I wanted to see what it can do also, so you can get some points and seeing perhaps something you haven't thought. Of course, I didn't take them one-to-one here, but it gave me a very good head start on some cases. And one of the things, okay, now you are getting ready for ChatGPT or OpenAI Copilot, and so this is a bit of that you saw in the demo. Okay, some of the points you have to consider when you are taking these into use. And of course, if you don't have an AI strategy yet, start making one and thinking about who owns the AI, who can make the ultimate decisions about the use of AI, and on which parts. Because if it's like teams and we are like have IT, communication, HR, projects, everyone is a stakeholder there or owning their part, then you don't have a big picture. You need someone who owns it. And is it trusted service? That's important. And thing is that you need to take note of this communicating. You need to talk to, let people know and get the feedback. And you need those champions. You need like a adoption there. That's the basic thing. People need to see the success stories, how you've been using AI, and how you are really getting more productive with that. And of course, hopefully, there's going to be open communication. And advantage, yes. We've already seen a lot of those advantages. It understands even sarcasm and irony and metaphors, and that's really cool. I've asked it to produce a lot of sarcastic replies as a demo or test. But you can also customize and fine-tune this model, so you can have it more relevant information about your data. If you want to customize or fine-tune the model, so you can put in more questions and answers, so you can train the model further in Azure AI and get that more relevant answers in your domain. The compatibility, interoperability is a big thing because these are very, very, very versatile models. So you can use them in different places. You just use the same model in there. But the challenge is, I think this is a bit of thing. We've already read about that. There's even one initiative that people want to stop the development of AI for 6 months or something like that. And it's not a good idea. People are, yes, I understand why people are afraid what these AIs can do, what can happen. Like they are already going forward faster than anyone thought before that could happen. But the thing is that if some companies, say OpenAI, Microsoft, some others, stop developing for 6 months, we know there's going to be a lot of other companies that don't, and in different countries, so to say, baddies or whatever. The criminals are going to be using AI. Yes, that's one of the challenges there as well. So you can say there's no option to stop now because the genie is already out of the bottle, so to say. It's out there. We are going to be using that. It's coming, and it's coming fast. It's driving this digitalization forward faster than ever. And yeah, it's a challenge for a lot of people. That's why we need people-centric things. We need adoption. We need communication. But of course, if you're just using the plain ChatGPT, you have already heard probably about the fake news, because ChatGPT can hallucinate things. It's not perfect. When you have company data, it's going to be more precise, but yeah, it can hallucinate something if that content doesn't include that specific data. Or hopefully GPT-4 is more smart there. It's usually saying, okay, this doesn't contain the information. It's getting fine-tuned there, but it can happen. And privacy security, yeah, that's one thing. One of the big challenges is going to be, what about us, the people? Does it make us less innovative? Do we rely and depend on AI too much? Do we believe everything everything that's in the news, so what the AI is telling us? So that's one big challenge as well. I think some of the people are worried about, okay, this is going to change how much people are needed to do certain tasks, and then so there might be an impact on different professions, like AI is taking over a bit. But on the other hand, if you are really smart, then you start using that to be more innovative. You are just not Hopefully the company is not just saying, okay, we can reduce more stuff out, but instead can, hey, what more we can do? And use that people, now that they have free time, so to say, they can use that to innovate something new, because AI doesn't innovate you anything new. And AI doesn't have emotions. So I'm just thinking about, okay, think about the HR. Now you have an AI for HR. It can feel natural, and it can even fool you if you want, but it doesn't have emotions. That's the thing. It's not artificial intelligence or intelligent in that sense. These are all algorithms. These are lots of code. That's what it has learned. It has neural processing and everything like that, but it doesn't have really emotions. But the way it goes towards, in some ways, is that of course it might have, like Bing was producing very strange facts out, like it was getting personals for some reason, but it was basically biased because it had collected the information from everywhere. So it went to that kind of a place where it can kind of go to that, towards down the hill, so to say. And with all this, you have to keep in mind the responsible AI. Microsoft is enforcing this very well, because they have this responsible AI principle, and you just don't start using the open AI from Azure. You have to apply for that. So they will check your use cases, and if your use case is approved, you can use it. And if it doesn't, if you use it to something else that's not approved, they might stop you from using that. So they want to make sure that, okay, this is not used in a wrong way. And of course, it applies to development as well. But the use of AI, that's us, and so that's the important part. And how these are going to be addressing the biases and discrimination part, because these are taught with texts we provide them as people. And yeah, lots of us is biased. There's lots of material that is discriminating and biased. So you can have to think about that part. Okay, this is going to be affecting how the AI is going to work. And they will be tuning those, because hopefully GPT-4 should already have a lot less of this than GPT 3.5 had. So these kinds of things are needed. So you will need the kind of AI guidelines, but there's actually today Microsoft published that blog post, our approach on there, and it's about the responsible AI part, and so you can dive more deeper in there with the parts of responsible AI. So somebody was worried that I might go over time, but no, I didn't. To kind of recap or put things here, is now the question to you is like, how do you prepare for those important meetings, so to say, tomorrow in the future? When you have these capabilities, how much time it's going to save, how much better in efficiency or productivity it's going to make you, because you can get the information in kind of a summarized format, for example, or you get the key information, the key insights from there. So boosting productivity is something we all want to do, and this is something that GPTs are bringing us. The Copilot and everything like that, it's going to change a lot of things for us, because we can tap into that superpower. Of course, crafting an AI strategy is important for organizations, how you are going to be utilizing that and how you are communicating that. And I want to put the prioritized people there, because when you start embedding AI to your workplace, people are going to be, some are going to be scared. They are going to be afraid about where does it have access to, what does it know about us? So you really need to keep the change management there, even with something as simple as Copilot. So just keep it in a supporting way, like empowers and supports human collaboration. That's the best place we can use AI. And of course, use AI responsibly. Don't drive an AI, but be ethical in there. And because of this, I think the AI is the catalyst. It's going to give us so much more power for innovation and progress. It's truly a game changer. And it's changing the metaverse as well, because with the AI, we are going to be jumping towards the metaverse faster than we thought before. We can have those talking bots. We can soon, hopefully, start to generate 3D environments from text. So it's really powerful tool. So at this point, I'm going to say thank you. I made it on time, Laura. So we are here, and we still have a few minutes if there are any questions.
Brilliant. Thank you, Vesa, for a great presentation and a great demo. So we will get into the questions and answers part now. So again, if anyone wishes to ask a question, please feel free to do so now, and you can type it into the questions window. So our first question in here is, someone is asking, can you touch on the risk associated with AI?
The risks associated with AI. Of course, I think, I don't know what kind of risks you are referring to. There has been a lot of talk about, okay, some of the risks of AI, that, okay, AI is taking over the world. That's quite absurd, frankly. Like it's getting conscious, like it's going to be intelligent, and so this is algorithm-based models. These are not the AI in that sense. This is not Terminator the movie, and where it can interact and create things. Yeah, and in the future, we will see if that singularity is going to happen or not. But I don't really think it's going to affect us. It's contained in many ways, and it doesn't have that much access to the real world. So yeah, AI can do a lot of things, but I think the biggest risk for AI at this point is that criminals are using that. They can use it to make frauds. They can use it to fool you. They can even now start creating very good Finnish text. We were safe before this from those spammers who are trying to get us into punching in our bank codes or something like that, because now they can create a lot better Finnish. So that's perhaps the biggest risk is cybercrime.
Brilliant. Thanks, Vesa, for that. Now, the next question we have here is, what measures do you think industry players need to put in place to ensure the individual is protected?
I was kind of referring to those is that you need to have, thinking about the organization-wide, you need to have the AI strategy. You need to think about your infrastructure, and how do you protect your data, how do you secure your environment. That's kind of needed. That's always is how the data is going to be used, where it's going to be used. So you have to design those parts, of course, carefully. And thinking about the individual part, yeah, that's also the part of the responsible AI, to be frank, to which data the AI has access to. That's one way to kind of control the information the AI has. So it doesn't may have the access to personal information on some parts. It might have access to your emails, like Copilot will have, and because without that it cannot create summaries, but it shouldn't have access to, for example, the private photos or something. And so you have to create a strategy about that and make a plan how the AI is going to be used. And if you are referring to more wider spectrum, like on the internet scale, well, there's a lot of information out there. Google is using that. Everybody is crawling through that information, so that the information is more or less public. If you put something to the net now, the AI may surface some of that information faster than before, so you don't really know. But yeah, it's a good question, and it's not something I can answer in 2 minutes.
Brilliant. Thanks again, Vesa. Now, just another question in here, and someone is asking, do you have any tips for getting started using AI in the workplace?
Yeah, I think the best tip is to start using the Bing chat, for example, or the Bing the Edge browser tab there where you can generate some text. So you can start playing around with that, or you can use ChatGPT for that. So you can start thinking about, okay, how the AI would do this presentation. Ask from that. So you get some snippets you might be using, or you might want to AI to rewrite your paragraph because it's really good on that. I'm not a native English speaker, as you can hear, and for me to write a fluent and rich English, it's not always that easy. So what I can do now is that I put that chapter or paragraph to AI and ask it to make like more fluent or more rich, so it can use those aspects of English language that I couldn't use or thought about. So I think the best tip is there, start doing that, get it to think about your routines where you start using it to generate something. And of course, generating pictures, images. I had all the images created with Midjourney on this presentation. You could use DALL-E 2 already, and Bing Chat can create you also DALL-E images. So you can get head start there and create something unique and try to figure out, okay, how this AI is going to be best used in your work.
Brilliant. Thanks again, Vesa. So that is all the questions that we have in here today. So just on behalf of the ESPC community, we would like to extend a huge thank you again to you, Vesa, for taking the time today to carry out this webinar. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
So that is the end of today's webinar. You can find this webinar and more at sharepointeurope.com/resource center. That is it for today, folks. Thanks again to all of you for joining us today. Take care, and we hope that you'll join us again for more learning. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.